Welcome to the Packer Mentality Podcast, where I try to keep you up to date and shed a little light on what is happening on and off the field with the Packers. A big thank you to everyone tuning in. Your active engagement has played a crucial role in shaping this channel. Please take a moment to subscribe, share your comments, and connect with me on social media at Packer Mentality. Please don't forget you can find this podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms. It's Friday. It's mock draft time. Before we get into it, let's set the stage on what the Packers situation might look like in April. We have to consider who will still be on the roster. So let's quickly go over who might be gone. Before I name names, let me say that I don't root for any of these guys to lose their jobs. I know this is their life. They have families, they have lives. I am aware of that. And if they aren't with the Packers next season, I do hope that they find a home somewhere. So, who are the guys the Packers might have to replace? First, we have to consider the free agents. Unrestricted free agents: Yash Nyman, tackle; Keyshawn Nixon, cornerback; safeties: Darnell Savage, Rudy Ford, and Jonathan Owens; running back: A.J. Dillon; outside linebacker Eric Wilson; tight ends Josiah DeGuara and Tyler Davis; and guard John Runyon Jr., who split time at the end of the season with Sean Ryan, and that could make him expendable because Sean Ryan is on a rookie contract. Also, cornerback Corey Ballantyne. Restricted free agents and exclusive right free agents: Zane Anderson, Robert Rochelle, both those guys were special teams guys. Caleb Jones, tackle; Daniel Whelan, starting punter; Benny Sapp, safety; Christian Uphoff, safety; Patrick Taylor, running back; Bo Melton, wide receiver; and Emmanuel Wilson, running back. And there are also some guys whose contracts are going to be a bit of a problem. I'm not going to bore you by going into the numbers. Just be aware that the Packers, when they're trying to get under the salary cap, will probably take a look at these guys because they do take up a big chunk of the Packers salary cap. Starting with David Bakhtiari. He's a big health question. When he's on the field, he's great, but Packers can't count on him to be on the field. Not his fault. They also can't really cut him if he's hurt. They'll end up having to do some sort of settlement, and that will also take up a big chunk of their salary cap. And he really has no trade value because he's been hurt. Possibly the only team that might be interested in him would be the Jets, where Aaron Rodgers is making the decisions. Also on this list, Kenny Clark, Preston Smith, Aaron Jones, Royce Newman, Devondre Campbell, and long snapper Matt Orzech. Of all those guys, I think the most likely two to get cut would be Royce Newman and Devondre Campbell. So the Packers shopping list in free agency and the draft will be having to get probably a couple tackles, possibly one or two guards. Definitely will need running backs, possibly a tight end. I did list Bo Melton. Even if you decide to move on from Bo Melton, that room is pretty full and talented. If you were to sign someone or draft someone, you have to make it worthwhile and bring in someone with enough talent to make the team. Otherwise, it's just a waste of a draft pick, which means you're having to spend a pick in probably the top 3 rounds, maybe the top 4 at the very outside. If one of the good wide receivers in this draft drops, could the Packers make a surprise pick? I don't know, but considering their history, I doubt it. They will probably need one or two linebackers, probably two cornerbacks. Safety, you basically have to restock the entire room. I believe Anthony Johnson, Jr. is the only one left on the roster. We'll need a punter if you do not bring Whelan back. Could need a long snapper. You could need to bring in competition at kicker. Center Josh Myers is going into his final year of his contract in 2024, so center might also be in play. Of those positions, the only ones that the Packers value in the first round historically would be pass rusher, edge, or defensive lineman. They've spent a lot of number one picks in this group. Cornerback, they've spent a couple picks there. Safety, and offensive tackle. The positions you will not have to think about in round one, most likely running back, wide receiver, tight end, interior offensive lineman, punter, kicker, and long snapper. And with that being said, let's get this mock draft started. We're back here in the Pro Football Focus mock draft simulator. We'll do 4 rounds. We will leave all the settings in default position. Well, drafting as the Packers, obviously. And we'll set the speed so we can see what other mistakes everybody else is doing. Let's see who the Bears take. Caleb Williams. Yep. 3 quarterbacks in the top 10. We do have a couple offensive tackles available to us. The guy from Georgia missed half the season with an injury. Makes me a little bit nervous drafting him in the first round. And I'm not interested in an edge rusher right now. Drafted the cornerback from Missouri first last week. I'm going to go Byron Murphy out of Texas. He's got the size, 6'1", 308. Played exclusively A and B gaps. Overall grade from Pro Football Focus was a 91.1. Had a fantastic year. We're going with Mr. Murphy. Okay, we have the tackle from Washington, Fontenot, still available. He is 6'4", 317. Finished the season with a 75 grade from Pro Football Focus. Played extremely high level against tough competition in the national championship game. Had a 78.3 grade. That is pretty good against that Michigan defense. Pick number 57. We're in the second round. I do not want to miss out on one of the couple guys that I believe can play center field safety. And he is still on the board. We are going with Kalen Bullock out of USC. Pick number 88. We are going to address a possible vacancy on the offensive line. Going with guard out of Boston College, Christian Mahogany. 6'3", 322, played right guard, can compete with Sean Ryan for that, or provide depth. Number 91, he's still on the board. Thought he might have gotten picked in between our 2 picks. Gonna draft the safety out of Georgia, Smith. Saw him play a little bit in the Senior Bowl. Saw him make a couple plays. He played a lot in the slot at Georgia. At pick 125, going with the safety out of Washington State, Jaden Hicks. Played a lot in the slot, has good size, and I think he'd be a great fit on the other side of Bullock from USC. You could have Bullock Hicks, and then Smith in the slot. Pick number 135, right in line to pick up possibly our center of the future, Mr. Limmer out of Arkansas. All right, how do we do? Defensive linemen, couple offensive linemen, restocked the safety position, the secondary, and a center of the future. Overall grade from Pro Football Focus, a B plus. The Super Bowl is on Sunday. Chiefs and 49ers. My pick, my prediction for what it's worth, I believe the Kansas City defense will do enough to slow down and stop the 49ers offense, while Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco will score enough points to give the Chiefs another Super Bowl title by a score of 24-17. Starting next week, I will start doing 2 mock drafts, but I will use 2 different draft simulators to get some different perspectives. Join me on Tuesday for that. Before we wrap up, remember that your thoughts and comments are always welcome. Don't hesitate to share them in the comment section, subscribe, and connect with me on social media. Wishing you all a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And as always, go Pack Go.